Okay, so this is at home. At home. All right, so this is at home athletic leg building and conditioning. So the first movement that we're working on is a flat foot squat. So for this, you can explore ways to use a support to get down lower, or just stay at the range where you're comfortable. But your feet should be about hips width apart, mostly facing straight ahead. You can play around with turning the feet out a little bit, like 15 degrees outwards sometimes, and just know that that's not straight. So there's different benefits. There's a lot of benefits to having the feet forward, and you want that to be the primary practice. But when doing squats, but every once in a while, you can have the feet go out wide. Going out wide uses different muscles. It's a different structure in your body. It's a little bit more external rotation, which is like the side of your glutes, where when you're front, it's a little bit more onto your quads. But in general, that alignment and that structure that you get from the feet facing forward is very beneficial because, day-to-day life, when you're walking, you really want your feet forward, etc. So it helps to build a more functional, aligned structure. So spend the majority of the time with the feet forward. Okay, moving on. So you have different depths and ranges. So you can be in the top part of the squat and kind of just holding the position. Now, for this, you would just kind of squeeze the glutes, hold the top of that position, just like a static squat. And then once you feel the muscles kick in, it might take 10 seconds or 15 or 30. But once they start to burn, then they're active. Then you can have small scan. So you're kind of like a little bit lower, higher, or you can have it rhythmic, or you can increase the speed. But you really want to tune into your feet. Have the weight be in the middle of your feet. If you can, have your toes spread apart, and try to make sure that your weight is dropping evenly from left to right foot. So here, good. All right. You can always take a little break and stretch and then come up. Okay. And then the goal is going to be eventually you want to be drop. And so maybe knees are going to touch your thighs, keeping your chest lifted. Small little pulses here, even smaller range of motion. So it's like small, quick. You have different or higher pulses, faster. You get the picture. Play around with it where you have different variety. When you're done with that, I recommend a little single leg balance. Stand on one leg and just flex and point your foot. You can also do this before, or possibly stand on one leg, open your knee up and out to the side, or any little standing mobility. Another one I recommend is just standing on one leg, bending and straightening. Okay, or just walking. So flat foot squat. Next, you have the option to do a lunge. So you can do a long lunge, like you're on two train tracks. The feet are facing straight. Um, the front leg bends. It's proven by exercising with your knee bent, you grow thicker tendons in your knee. That's what gives you the athletic legs. It brings the springs back into your legs. So like running and jumping puts less strain on the the actual bones and joint, and the tendons are able to act as those shock absorbers, those springs. So you're allowing that front knee to go forward. Obviously, not in any pain, but you do want to set an eventual goal, like as you're coming forward, nice and low, pushing back. Okay. Or just holding, just a static position for a little bit too. Um, Now you can also do the shorter lunge. So what you would want to do is have your back leg is bent and then your chest is lifted. Place your hand behind your lower back, posterior pelvic tilt. So like if you had a tail, you'd be tucking underneath you, and then small pulses up and down from the short lunge position. This actually doesn't build the tendons in your knee as much, but it does engage the glutes a little bit more on the front leg. And it's a different kind of stretch on the back leg. On top of that, it builds good body awareness of your lower back position. The posterior pelvic tilt is different. So this is another option. It's good to have variety, diversity. And next we have the Cossack position. So Cossack position is born from the horse stance position. So you have a wide squat. You can have this with your feet facing perfectly straight, and you'll feel a deep stretch in your outer shin probably. And with your feet straight, you have to push your knees to open them because it does tend to make your knees want to come in as well. But so you kind of open your knees out and then hand to your lower back as well. A posterior pelvic tilt. If you got a tail, be scooping under a little bit. You can do just hip circles from here. Pretty good. And then the Cossack position from here is just going to start with this. You're going to go down and to one side, and then down and to the other side. This leg is still bent. All right. So then we have until this leg straightens. Okay. And once we reach that position, we can open the arms. And your spine's not like in the middle. You kind of want to look and reach your arm, allow it to glide down towards that straight leg. You can also do mobility from your legs being here. Just kind of turn and stretch one side, then the other side. It's good. Spinal rotations. Good. So the final option here is it's like known as Hindu squat, or sometimes called the knees over toes squat. So just static. What you would want to do is no pulsing, feet facing forward. We call it the forward fold position. Then we're slowly going to push the hips forward and then lift the heels up. And the shoulders come back. And then just hold here. And as long as you have no pain, you can lower this down a little bit. Then you're going to go back to forward fold and back to the Hindu squat position. So that's option A to get accustomed to it. This one builds the tendons in your knees, so they adapt slower than your muscles. So keep that in mind, where you don't want to do too much of this. You want to do it on a regular basis at a small dosage and build it up slowly over time. And that's the best way. The tendons in the knees get thicker and you build the athletic legs, the springy legs. The option 2, once you're accustomed to this, it's feeling pretty good and you notice the benefits, then you're like, all right, my body's adapting, it's liking this movement. I'm gonna increase my duration / intensity in that final position. So what you would do is just kind of like one forward fold, get yourself into position by pushing your hips forward and your knees forward. Find a position that's comfortable. It doesn't have to be all the way down. And start to do pulses here. You can explore, the lower pulses or the higher position pulses. But you definitely want to feel this where there's you feel your VMO is like a teardrop shaped muscle right above your knee. You feel your quads. They are engaging and stretching. And you don't feel any knee pain. And that's how you know you're on the right track. And you can increase the duration of time that you're able to sustain those pulses with the eventual long-term goal, 1 minute pulsing the whole time.